Hey guys, calling back for another short video. This week I have another glass I found, one of these cartoon cups, and this is a Spike from Tom and Jerry, and this is one of those Pepsi Collector Series cups from 1975. Y'all remember Spike from Tom and Jerry? That was a fun cartoon I remember watching. What's some of your childhood cartoons that you guys remember? What was your favorite? Uh, Mine was probably Tom and Jerry and the Looney Tunes. Anyway, I have another record here, and it's another war record. And I've never seen this one before. I didn't even know it existed. It's Good Times, Love is All Around, and this is War with Eric Burden again. I'm not exactly sure if this was a release just by itself or if it's a compilation of their songs, but it says new songs with Eric Burden and War, and one of them's Tobacco Road, which I'm sure some of you heard that on the Eric Burden and the Animals records. And this also has Paint It Black. The most popular one you probably remember hearing is from the Rolling Stones, but on this War and Eric Burden have a live version of Paint It Black, and I'm pretty sure I've heard that before on one of my other Eric Burden albums, I believe. And that's that record for this week, and it says November 1976 up here. The phone's going off. We're supposed to go to karaoke later with Jody and some friends. Y'all remember Jody? And the next part of this, I don't really have any antiques to show this week. Well, I have some, but I'm going to talk about something else besides the antiques in the books. We've been really playing a lot of board games. You've seen me show the checkerboard. Well, we've been kind of getting into this. This is it's new to us. This is a game called Senet. It's an Egyptian board game. It's probably over 3,500 years old, the origins of it. It was found in the tomb of King Tut, or Tutankhamun, or however you pronounce his name. We've been playing this quite a bit. It's fun. It's not really understood what all the rules are or how it was actually played because they only found bits and parts of the rules of this game. And they found one of these in King Tut's tomb as well as some paintings of other pharaohs and things playing it. There's the game pieces right there. And instead of dice, it does have a dice, but they used sticks, which you can see inside of there. And it's a very fun game, and if you all get a chance, check a Senet game out, or the history of Senet with the Egyptians. It's a really good game to get into if you've never played it. It's even on your Android iPhones and iPads and things like that. You can get on the internet and play it. But looking at that, that gave me an idea after playing it for a while. I'm like, why can't I design a game, a Senet game, but using like a Native American theme? And before I do that, I forgot to show you the areas here. Right here, on that spot, that is the House of Rebirth. Down here is the House of Happiness. And by the House of Happiness, in today's terms, that would be a funeral home. Or not a funeral home. Yeah, I guess it could be a funeral home. Because you know how they dealt with, they had a lot of beliefs and things around death and reincarnation and things like that. And this is the House of Happiness. The next one is the House of Water. After that is the Three Truths, the House of Three Truths, the House of Two Truths, and the House of Horus, which is you're pretty much on your way out. And it's a two-player game, and you're both racing at each other to see who can reach the netherworld first, which is kind of an odd game to play, a way to put it, but that's the way they thought about things back then. And along with that, I came up with my own design for a Native American Senate game. This is like a prototype. Over here is a thunderbird, the sacred bearer of happiness, which would be the same spot as that house of happiness. A canoe with some water. These are Native American symbols. A canoe with a water symbol there for the house of water. The house of three truths. I have a bear claw with 3 slashes in its paws, which means you're 3 moves away from leaving the board. And next we have a buffalo skull, life and abundance, which is it has 2 horns, so 2 moves to get off. And lastly is a butterfly, which as you know, it changes and it becomes something different. So I thought using that butterfly symbol, everlasting life, for that House of Horus, or the Eye of Horus spot. Now I just noticed on my little printout here, all of this should be moved 1 area down. But that's my little mock-up of the one I want to design. And for the House of Rebirth, I used a medicine wheel, which symbolizes the 4 directions and air, earth, fire, and water on Earth. So I thought that was a similar meaning. No, I want to transfer this onto and make my own Senate game onto a box, which I already found a box, which I'm going to use this right here. And I'm going to stain this and transfer that onto the box. And by transferring it, there's a special way. I've been studying up on this stuff. You can transfer an image from a print from your laser printer. It has to be a laser printer. You can't use a regular printer because the ink just isn't right. And I've been practicing transferring my image onto wood, and here's my first my first attempt. Didn't turn out too well. I used a peeling method which didn't quite work so well, so I switched from my regular paper to it's a label paper, which if you peel all the labels off on one side, it's smooth and shiny. So I used that to print my laser image, and I did another one. Boom, it came out way a lot better, but I still need to perfect that, because along the edges here you can see where the paper bubbled up and caused some of the image to come off along the edges here. And Connie said, well, that just gives it a more antique-y or rusty look, but me being the perfectionist that I sometimes feel like, I thought I wanted to make it look even better than that. Now you can see I put a coating on top of that to protect it. Now after that, I retried another image, but this time I used a smoother wood surface, and I made this little plaque for Connie, and it came out a lot better than my first 2 attempts. And that's the horses there. The brown one is Blaze and the black one is Jadir. And I transferred that onto I believe it's a birch tree piece of wood that I bought at Michael's, and that came out really nice. and I also put a coating on that. Now what the liquid that I use to transfer this is called polyacrylic. You can find it at Walmart in their paint section. And I'm going to leave a link below here to a guy, he's called The Craftsman here on YouTube, and that's how I kind of learned how to do this. And this is just one method of doing it. There's several which you will also find on his channel. And he's got a real neat channel. You guys should check it out. If you guys remember Bob Ross, the painter, this guy has a similar voice. It's very soothing, and he even uses a puppet as his mascot, like at the beginning of his craft videos. And and also for my board, I already have the playing pieces picked out, and they are going to be this is Chinese turquoise and red jasper, and those are going to be my playing pieces. And by that, the playing pieces, they all go across the top like this. That's how you start out. And that's it finally. Thanks for checking in. Let me know what your favorite cartoons are. And I got crafty on this one. Colin, over and out, and Weirdos Unite.